Hi everybody, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. Hope everybody's having a good week. And we're going to do things a little bit differently tonight because we're doing chicken adobo, a classic Filipino dish I love and I haven't made in a long time. But because it has to simmer for 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to start right in with the recipe. And then while it's simmering, we'll take a break and we'll do the cocktail for the evening, which is a Filipino cocktail called a mestiza. I have never tried, so we can do that together. And yeah, so that's kind of the order we're going to do things. Also tonight, in the intermission, whatever you want to call it, we are going to do review how to take apart a chicken. And I also have an entire strip loin. I also want to show you, hey Rebecca, I also want to show you how to part a strip loin. Sort of the theme for this week is avoiding sticker shock at the grocery store. The last couple of times I have been shopping, it has eye-opening the price of food, and there are a few ways to mitigate that. And it's also just good to know how to do. So the other thing is we haven't done a cool thing in a while, and because I ran out of cool things to show you guys. Oh, is there sound lag? I really hope there's no lag today on the sound. This always seems to happen with this mic. Is anybody else watching who can chime in on sound lag? Really want to know that now rather than later. Okay, I'm gonna try to clap. Maybe somebody can tell me. Don't know. Okay, I'm gonna roll with it for now. If somebody wants to chime in a little bit and let me know if there's a lag on the sound, appreciate it. Okay, in the meantime, as I said, we haven't done a cool thing in a little while. But after we did the world's most expensive sandwich, I went out and I bought choku pan for that. That's the square loaf of Japanese milk bread. Lag on your machine. Okay, great. I mean, not good, but yeah. Okay. Maybe try your phone or something. You can tune in on your phone. Let me know. Anyway, the square loaf pan, the choku pan's made in a Pullman loaf pan. One of these guys. I'm gonna actually flip cameras here. These are cool. So it's called a Pullman loaf pan because they used to use them on the Pullman rail cars, dining car, because they stack square. Regular bread doesn't stack, obviously. So yeah, so this has a sliding lid like this. You let your dough rise at the side, and oh, that was loud. Then you cap it, and you bake it, and you get like a rectangular loaf, which is amazing for sandwiches. Not just the world's most expensive sandwiches, it's good for any kind of sandwich. So that's the cool thing for this week. I got this on Amazon. This is like made by USA Pan. And this wasn't cheap, actually, but after reading all of this, they knocked these off. Of course, you get them from anywhere. But the knockoffs had all kinds of problems, like flaking metal and bad stuff. So I think it's worth spending the money on this one. This was recommended by Cooks Illustrated as being the best of the lot, so they're usually solid. So anyway, if you have a burning desire to bake bread or make a loaf yourself or make choku pan, which is amazing, you need one of these. It's just fun to have. Okay, so I think we're gonna get right into dinner here. That was the cool thing. So we're doing Filipino adobo, and that is very few ingredients. One of it. Okay, so the chicken is marinated. I've had this sitting in the fridge for a couple hours now. The marinade is, what's in here? Some garlic, maybe 3 cloves of garlic. 1/3 of a cup of soy sauce, 1/3 of a cup of white vinegar, so just straight up like, oh, is the sound, now I have it on. Okay guys, give me a sec, I'm going to try and fix it. I don't know why we're running this, but I'm going to hit the Be Right Back screen, and I will be back in a second, trying to figure this out. Okay, so Sarita says it's lagging too. I'm going to have to figure out how to get a new get my other mic going here. So just give me a sec. I'm gonna use that guy. Now I have. Okay. Two sound sources, which will be for everybody. Okay, so now we're back on my old mic. So how's that working? Somebody, like, give me a lag here. Do we clear that up? And I'm just going to keep talking because laggy or not, we got to get through this. So, yeah. Okay, sorry guys. That's my good shotgun mic, and we ran into that issue the other week too when I tried to use it. Last week it was fine. This week it's causing problems. So, anyway, we're back on this mic, and I will figure the issue out for next time. Okay, but we got it solved before we got into the adobo, and I was telling you what was in the marinade here. I'm pretty sure I got as far as white vinegar. Okay. Just going to stick with this mic for now. So I got to the white vinegar part, right? So just plain old white vinegar. No wine vinegar, nothing fancy, no rice vinegar, just straight up white vinegar. I have about 4 bay leaves in here, I think. They were fresh, and if you're going to use dried, probably use 1 less maybe, but around 4 bay leaves is fine. This needs to marinate for, I don't know, at least an hour, but it could go overnight. You're not going to use it too, like, you're not going to over marinate it. So that's that. These are bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. You have to use thighs for this recipe, by the way. You can't substitute breast for this. It gets simmered for a long time until they get nice and juicy and tender. That's not going to happen with the chicken breast. You could use boneless, skinless. You could use bone-in, skinless. You could do skinless, bone-out, whatever you want. This happened to be the best-looking chicken in the butcher, so I grabbed it. Also, I like crispy chicken skin, so I'm going to show you how I do it, which keeps the skin crisp as we go. Okay, so now I think we're just going to get right into this, I think. What else do I need? Oh, no, that's other ingredients we need for this to finish it off. A little bit of oil, which is going to be, that's olive oil. I'm using peanut oil for cooking. I have some more garlic. This is maybe... Let's see. Oops. Oh, wait. Somebody said, yeah, there you go. Cam pot black pepper. These are from Cambodia. You can get them at your favorite pepper store. They're great. Shit, you're right. Give me a sec, guys. Nothing like just like streaming everything live and just broadcasting on the fly. So when I switch to... Okay, is that better? Can you hear me in overhead now? You still can't hear me? I can see me. Oh, yeah. Okay, now you can. Great. Sorry about that, guys. Been a technical adventure tonight. Anyway, cool thing from another week. This is my bench scraper. I use this all the time for just doing exactly what I just did. Yes, you can use a chef's knife for this. Yes, you can use a cool cleaver. It's not as cool as this, trust me. And that's all the ingredients. So this is a super simple dish. You guys probably have everything you need to make this at home already. So this is something you can throw together on a weeknight. You could cut the marinade time down to like half an hour if you wanted. So don't be shy about this. So let's get this chicken going. You guys can see that okay. This is just a somewhat decent non-stick pan. If you don't have a non-stick pan, I hate it when, like, I have a little cast iron pan, which is pretty good, but I really hate it when the chicken skin sticks to the pan and it doesn't release, because I really like chicken skin. So I'm not going to test my luck today. I'm just going to use a non-stick pan. It will crisp up the chicken skin just fine. If you need to develop a fond, if I was like doing steak and had to make a red wine reduction, I wouldn't be using this pan, but it's perfect for this. Don't make your lives hard unnecessarily. Okay, so let's get these guys out here. Yeah, that's going to be loud, guys. Sorry. I'm really glad I got the... I don't even know if you guys can hear me. I'm really glad I got the protective filter for the camera, because I'm just like covering it in grease. I'm not going to move this off the side, but you guys can still see, right? Okay, any questions so far? Again, if you're, I figure it's about 2 thighs per person. Seems about right. Yes, I can quickly repeat the marinade. The marinade is about 3 cloves of garlic. More if you want, and 1/3 of a cup of soy, 1/3 of a cup of white vinegar, and 4 bay leaves. It's really simple, and you actually, we're going to use, you'll see it in a second, we actually use the marinade as part of the cooking. So at this point, I'm just taking the bay leaves out of the marinade because you can't eat them. I'm going to need a trivet. Not quite there yet. Yeah, I got some beautiful color on there. I'm going to go for just a little bit more, and we'll set these guys aside. Okay. Gonna set those aside for a sec. And now we are going back to. So once you crisp up your thighs, now if you're using a little bit quiet in here. If you were using boneless thighs, you would get good color on both sides. But for this side, I'm not going to color the other side because the skin's going to do all that we want it to do. So we're going to switch. And now, a little more oil. This is, like I said, this is peanut oil. It's kind of become my oil of choice these days. It's a little more expensive. And there's no reason not to use canola or whatever. But I'm kind of liking the flavor it adds to the food. So now we're just going to color up the onion. Let's go a little higher. Again, if you're working on like an electric stove or whatever, this goes a lot slower. You don't have to rush through it the way I am right now. Don't want a big piece of onion in my thing. All right, I'm gonna put the garlic in. This is not one of those dishes where you put the garlic in until it's just fragrant. You want a little color in your garlic here. Alright, and I have to get a burner on over here. This guy goes over here. That's the star of the show for later. I love the smell of garlic and onions cooking. It smells like something good's about to happen, you know? I'm just looking for just like a tiny little bit more color here. And then we're gonna, but of course we don't want the garlic to burn, so you gotta keep an eye on it. Okay, I'm happy with that. So reserved marinade goes in. Turn that down a bit. I got about a cup and a half of water here to go in. And I can go in the sink too. This is 2-ish tablespoons of brown sugar. So Rebecca, this gets served over rice. And thank you for asking. I gotta turn the rice on. So yeah, this normally, you could serve this with just plain white rice, which is what I'm doing. You could also serve it with like a garlic fried rice, which is more work than I wanted to do tonight. But yes, I think rice is traditionally what it's served with. And of course, our peppercorns go in. I know it's a lot of peppercorns, but I like the spice. So we want to bring this to a simmer. And we're going to let it simmer for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to add the chicken in and put it on the stove. And then we're going to do our cocktail. And we're going to take apart a chicken and trim out a strip loin, which is fun. What is it? 7:19. So at 7:25, we're going to get this guy off the heat and put the chicken in and whatnot. Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, and we just gotta let this guy simmer about 5 minutes, and add the chicken in. And maybe I can actually just, let's just power simmer this. I don't want to wait 5 minutes. I'm really just simmering to blend the flavors here. And I feel like they're pretty well blended. Okay. Relatively happy with the way this is going. Our chicken goes in, just skin side. So here, if I judge this right, the chicken goes in crispy skin side up, and if you're lucky, it kind of like stays out of the liquid and stays crispy. They look like they're sinking. There, it's perfect. Just gonna be okay. Okay. I'm gonna move this to the burner. Set a timer for that and put this away. Okay. Now we have other chores to do tonight. We want to do our, I think we'll do the cocktail first because that'll give you something to sip while we're prepping our meat. So the mestiza, and I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it. I don't speak Tagalog, is the Philippines. Somebody tell me if that's right. Anyway, so I realized this is a very, very simple recipe. We are going to use 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces probably of rum. We are going to use 100 milliliters, well, 4 ounces of beer. And it also called for, so when I originally read this recipe, it said 4 ounces of soda. And so I made soda water. But looking back at the recipe, I realized it actually said soda like Coke or Sprite, which I don't have in the house right now. So we are going to make our own version of Sprite. We're totally going to Hedberg this and make some Sprite from scratch. So let's get that going. I've got my, let me go back to the other camera. Got our citrus press here. And it's time to make some homemade Sprite. I've got some like sorry ass lemons and limes I've been meaning to use up. I just hit the camera, didn't I? Settle down. There we go. Alright, that was 1 lemon. Let's do, do you think that's 2 ounces of lemon? Yeah, Hedberg, you know his routine. That was exciting. You know his routine with homemade Sprite. It's hilarious. I actually think that's probably about 2 ounces. I'm going to switch to limes now. I'm also going to move it away from the camera so I keep smacking the food can. 1 lime. 2 limes. I think I'm going to over lime. I think Sprite has more lime than lemon. Yeah, you know, his whole routine is like, he's talking about Sprite with the freshness of lemon and lime or whatever, and he's like, he tried to make some at home, but there's more to it than that. And he offers it to his friends. Anyway, I won't go into the whole routine because I'm not nearly as funny as Hedberg is, but it is part of his routine. And homemade Sprite. Okay, so I think we have enough juice there. Let's put this into like appliance purgatory. Clean up here, I'm making a mess. So this, I figure for the amount, we're going to do this in a highball glass, which I had. Here we are. Highball glass, we're going to add some ice to this. Oh, let's finish the let's finish the homemade Sprite. Okay, so this is obviously going to be way too tart because Sprite is sweet. And since I could sweeten this with sugar and make it like a simple syrup. However, I learned that in the Philippines they sweeten a lot of their, like, one of their go-to sweeteners is palm sugar, and I actually happen to have some in the cupboard. So we're gonna try this out. We're gonna use palm sugar to sweeten our drink here. So you get it comes in like these cakes. I'm gonna grind it up on a microplane here. And hopefully it'll dissolve without heat. I guess we'll find out. Okay, what do you guys think? Now, I want to taste this because I have no idea how sweet this actually is. That's really nice. This is like... it tastes like a cross between brown sugar and caramel. But it's not super sweet, so I think we're going to need a bit more of this. So oh yeah, there's lots in here. Okay. I feel like that's probably enough, right? Now the question is, throw this open to you guys, do you think this is going to dissolve freely in the lime juice, or do I have to make a syrup? What do you think? Because I don't want it gritty in the drink. I'm going to have a sip of my beer while I wait to hear from you guys on this one. Syrup? Yeah, I think so too. Okay, fine. Okay, let's do that real quick. I need my burner back. And a pot on it. Just a little bit of water in there. This is how everybody makes cocktails, right? Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think you guys are right. Okay, boiling already. I love this burner. Let's get the... Oh yeah, it just dissolved right away in the hot syrup. Perfect. That goes into our lime. There you go, instant Sprite. Looks just like Sprite, doesn't it? Okay, I'm kind of kidding. Alright, proof is in the pudding, as they say. Okay, so process of making syrup? Sure I can. Syrup is basically, so there's two kinds of syrup you use quite frequently in bartending, mixology, whatever. This is really good, by the way. It doesn't taste anything like Sprite, but it does have like a sweet citrus flavor to it that is quite awesome, so I think it's going to make a great drink. Sorry, syrups, there's two kinds of syrups they use frequently in bartending. A simple syrup is normally a 1-to-1 ratio. So cup of sugar, cup of water, heat it up, and yeah. And you got your simple syrup. Some drinks call for a double syrup, where there's twice as much sugar as water, so 2 parts sugar, 1 part water. And lately for rum cocktails, I have been experimenting with like brown sugar and demerara sugar simple syrups for things like, well, any kind of rum drink, really. We did it, I think we did it for the pina colada. There was a drink we did recently with rum where we used the dark sugar, and it was really, really good. So, in any case, let's get this guy together. I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of making this up as we go along tonight, which is just fine. So we got 2 ounces of rum. You want a dark rum for this one, by the way? Oh yeah, it might have been the Mai Tai. So rum, and I want 2 shots of beer. I'm going to have to open a fresh cold beer here. Ooh, I'm going to go roughly 2 ounces, or 4 ounces, sorry. 2 full shots of this. And then the same with the syrup. Oh no, wait a minute, hang on. I don't want the syrup straight. We were making Sprite. There we go. Instant Sprite. So now, let's just give this a little shake. We'll see if this tastes like Sprite. You know, it tastes a little bit like Sprite. Not a lot like Sprite, but a little bit. So anyway, this soda goes in. This would be an amazing drink in the summer when it's 15 degrees out. I'm not sure how I feel about like a rum soda, but we all do what we can, right? Slip some ice in there. All right, there you go. Let's actually try this. That's pretty good. I mean, it tastes a lot like, what does it taste? It tastes like a cross between a shandy and like a rum and coke. Which I guess makes sense. No, it's pretty tasty. It's definitely a summer drink, though. Definitely a summer drink. Okay. Let's get back on track here. What do you guys want to see first? Do you want to see the chicken come apart, or do you want to do the strip loin? Throw it open to a... Well, I can't really do pulls anymore, can I? Somebody throw it out there. Somebody must have a preference. Beef, chicken. We're going to do both, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick in a second, guys. The bead. What? Beef. Okay. I couldn't figure out if you misspelled beef or bird. Okay. Starting with the beef then. So, I like beef. I like steak. And it's expensive. Steak is expensive, especially strip loins and good cuts. So one way you can save a ton of money on steak is to buy an entire primal cut and take it apart yourself. So in the case of today, I was at Costco, got a whole strip loin. It was incredibly cheap. It was so this is Costco's price. I don't know what it normally is. This was $19 a kilo, which works out to like $8.60 something a pound. Which is incredibly inexpensive for strip loin. This strip loin, I would put the Costco strip loin up against Bruno's, and Bruno's strip loin is $30 plus a pound. So this was a real find today. This whole piece was $134, which seems like a lot, but this is going to come apart into a lot of steaks. So I'm actually going to open it up over the sink, and I'll show you how. So it comes wrapped in this plastic. I wanted to show you guys this from scratch. So let me just get it open and drained, though, because it can be messy otherwise. Okay. And there you go. So we are going to, first of all, pat this guy dry so we can actually see what we're doing. A fantastic looking piece of meat. So this has actually been out of the fridge for a little bit because it was too big to fit in the fridge. So it's a little bit, it would probably be better to work with this guy like fully cold, a little easier. But what we're gonna do, so first of all, one of the advantages of doing this yourself is you have full control over how you cut it up. So one thing you won't get in a supermarket is a steak that's a proper thickness. They cut them for show, so that when they cut a steak in a supermarket, they cut it thin and wide so it looks like a big piece in the package, so that people buy it. However, the problem with that is you can't, a steak that's like, okay, there's an exception for Wagyu, but if the steak's only this thin, you can't cook it right. By the time you get good color on the outside, the damn thing's going to be well done all the way through. So if you want steaks cut to a proper thickness, you kind of got to do it yourself. The other advantage you have doing it yourself is you're going to trim this exactly the way you want. We don't care about yield here. We don't care about maximizing margins or anything like that. I'm just going to take off whatever I don't want to eat, and that's fine. So I don't know if you guys can see here, there's a difference. So I took off a couple of large chunks of fat. So this bit here, this isn't good fat. This is just like a gristly piece of nothingness that you don't want to eat. But the other thing you want to look for on the back of the sirloin is this. So I don't know if you guys can see this shiny bit here. This is silver skin, and it is not nice to eat. It doesn't ever break down. No amount of cooking will make it tender. It's just not fun. So we're just going to take that out, and I'm just going to go down the strip line. Like, this is easy. Take your time. This has already been trimmed a little bit by Costco before it was packed, but I'm still going to take off like the stuff I don't want to eat. So, and they wouldn't trim the silver skin like this at Costco. As you can see, I'm losing meat here, which means they're losing money. But since we're doing this at home and we're doing it for us, we don't care. I'm going to take that bit off too. And this isn't rocket science. Like, you're just going down the strip line. You're just taking off what you don't want to eat. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Got a little bit of silver skin here. I'm going to take that out. If I didn't have already a fridge full of suet, I could render this down, which is another advantage of doing it yourself. But I'm kind of like full up, so that's just trim. If you had a dog, they would love you forever if you gave them that. So maybe I'll save it for Emma and Darcy, the dog's upstairs. But again, I got a really tough little vein of fat there. So I'm pretty happy with the way the backside is here. I'm going to take this bit out here. Obviously, you want a really sharp knife too. And I finally invested in a boning knife, which makes trimming this, you can do this with a chef's knife. It's a little harder. But a good boning knife makes this like a snap. So I'm pretty happy with this side of this one. So let's flip it over and have a look. There's not much that needs to be done on this side. Give it another blot here because it's sitting in the juice. Okay, so now, got our trim. Let's get rid of this. Now we're ready to cut it into steaks. And I'm going to kind of square it off here. So you'll find like at each end, you have like a non-square part. And that's where your fajita and taco meat comes from, because I'm not going to start cutting on an angle. That's weird. I'm just going to bite the bullet, and I'm going to square this guy off. Can you guys see this okay? Let's put it over here. Got to like measure this against also my ability to cut it. So I'm going to take this little bit here, and I'm just going to take that right off. This will become like a steak sandwich or something for me tomorrow for lunch. I'll figure that part out later, but there's really not much I can do with that guy. But now I have a nice square edge, and we're going to cut it into steaks. And already I am wishing I had left this pretty cold, because this is going to be hard to cut. So you can cut your steaks however you want. I'm going to cut them about 1.5 inches thick, which is that much. But don't cut them less. I mean, the whole point of doing this is to have nice thick steaks that you can cook properly. And there you go. Well, there's one really beefy steak. Now, we'll come back to this, and I may or may not trim some of the fat cap off each steak. By the way, this is a huge steak. This is probably like, and I want a sheet pan for these two. That's probably about 16 ounces, which is 2 very healthy servings. Normally, Sheree and I will eat like one of these total, like between the two of us, and even then, that's pretty big. So let's just let me just do this real quick. We're gonna just bop down this. Draw your first line. So once you get through the fat cap, it's very easy to cut through. This is why also you want to have a sharp knife. That's 2. And as I said before, this is much easier to do when you haven't let the damn thing warm up. I think that was a mistake. And I'm also like, let's square this up again. Let's flip this guy over. Have a look here. I'm going to cut one from the back side to make sure I'm cutting like straight down through. So it's okay for me to cut these thinner and thicker. Like if one end of the steak ends up too thin, that's okay, or thinner, I guess. That's the Serena end, because when I cook these, Serena and I like the meat differently. She prefers it a little more medium, and I like it a little more medium rare. So if I have a steak that's an uneven thickness, it's great because I can cook it for the same, like a regular length of time, and I know that I'll have a meat, like the thinner part will be medium, and then the thicker part is medium rare. Again, so I feel like it's easier to do it from the side. I prefer cutting from the fat side. A butcher out there will tell me right or wrong which is which. It just seems like it's easier to get through the fat. Then down through the whole thing. Anyway, guys, this is pretty straightforward. This is just a full sirloin. It was very, very inexpensive. We were probably going to get like, okay, that's really thick. And again, here's one, guys, where I'm going to cut some of the fat off. I don't know if you guys can see. So you do want a little bit of fat to protect the meat when you're cooking, but I don't need that much. Like that's excessive. Now, a butcher will never cut this off because, again, they're cutting away money. But for me, I'm going to trim it down just a bit. I'm probably going to get a dozen steaks out of this. And a dozen 16-ounce strip loins that would end up being, what, $10 each? I mean, that just seems crazy value. Okay. Cut through. Any questions as we go through this? I know I'm just sitting here cutting meat for you guys, but and you also learn to recognize like a strip loin actually has, as you go down through it, the cuts do differ. It's not uniform all the way through. Take off some of the fat cap here, like that guy. Yeah, I might not get 12. Anyway, I've never seen it this inexpensive at Costco, so I took it. I'm tempted to actually go back and get another one. Yeah, let's trim this guy just a bit. And I'm just gonna take off the stuff that I don't really want to eat. Just turn that up a little bit. That's not simmering enough. I'm gonna take this end bit off entirely. There we go. Yeah, I mean, I was close. I paid $130, I think. What did I say at the beginning? I forget now. It was around that. So I'm like concentrating on not cutting my fingers off here. So I'm not always watching the chat here. And again, I'm just going to zip off that bit of the cap. This is actually a really nice strip loin. I'm really happy with this one. It's always hard to tell, like from the, you saw the bag as I slapped it onto the camera. So you kind of got to make your decision based on what you're seeing through the wrapper. And not every strip loin is the same. They all seem to have different cuts. I'm just going to take a little bit of that off. Oh no, but we did save money because, okay, so, sorry, let's run through the math again. A 16-ounce sirloin at Bruno's would be, wait, that's £1.33? No, it's £1.25. Would be $35, $36. So we're going to get 12 $36 steaks out of this piece. So somebody can do the math on that one. Come on, somebody do the math. And these are just, like, these, look at this. These are just beautiful looking steaks. These are also enormous. These are more than 16 ounces each, I can tell. And we're going to get 10, we're going to get 11. 11 plus tacos. Yeah. Sorry, I'm saying what we're cutting now would be about $10 per. Just based on the price I paid for the whole cut. But if you were to go into, if you went into Bruno's to try and buy this steak, it would be $35 minimum. Or any butcher. And if you went into Loblaws, it would probably be $60. And it wouldn't be nearly as good either. Okay, I feel like this is where it gets a little odd. I feel like I'm getting one more out of this guy. I'm going to cut it here. Come on. It's always hard to cut the last one. Nope, there. Take this guy off there. And I don't want that. And this end bit, what's this end bit? Oh, it's fine. Take this bit out. Okay, so we got 11. And then this guy, also that'll be lunch tomorrow. I'll make that into probably like one of the, like a steak sando with the shokupan. Throw that over there, and that's it. We're done. I did say strip loin, yes. So these are all strip loins. Now I got to do a little bit of cleanup, guys, and I will be right back. How am I going to do this? I'm just going to put this aside for now, and we'll do the chicken. So any questions on how to take apart a strip loin? As I said, that's the rice. It's not complicated. Okay, so the adobo is almost ready. A little more. But I still want to do the chicken for you guys, so we're going to zip through this chicken. Okay. Has anybody, by the way, has anybody taken a chicken apart before? Has anybody ever even done this? Because I'll tell you, when you compare prices at the supermarket for a whole chicken versus the parts that are all neatly packed and cut up for you, it's an incredible difference. I got a chicken here. This I got at a butcher local to us, Sanigan's, which I quite like. And they've done a little cute thing here where they've tucked out the leg, but I have to take that apart. Again, so yeah, I know, but I like doing it. And if they did it, where would we be? Okay, so we're gonna do a classic 8-piece cut, and it's probably only gonna be like 6. So first thing is get in there, get the wing off. Really straightforward. The wing. So I normally leave them whole. I'll show you guys how to take it apart. So this is the tip. There's a little tiny bit here, and that just dogs love these. Amazing dog treat. So I'm gonna put that in the. I'm not going to. I'm gonna put it here. I normally leave these whole until I decide what I'm going to do with them, because if I do fried chicken, I'll leave this piece whole. But to split this is really straightforward. just down through right through the joint. It'll separate really easily. So that's 2 of our pieces. And let's go to the other side and grab this guy. And again, we're just going in. Oh, come on. And that's the other bone. We'll take the tip off. And again, just zip down through the bone. The joint's right there. Go right through. That's 2 more pieces. So, what I was saying though about the price is the if I just took the breasts off this chicken, they would be more expensive than this entire chicken was. So yeah, I mean, even if you just bought this guy and chucked everything else away, you'd still be ahead. Okay, so now we have the thigh and the drumstick together. Again, depending on what you're doing, you can leave it at this point or you can take it apart. I'm going to show you guys how to take it apart. This little bit right, you guys can see on camera, there's a little bit of fat here. There's a little white spot, and the knife just goes like right down through there, and it'll come apart into 2 pieces. So you got your drum and your thigh. Again, goes up. This is a little split. That goes in the garbage. Let's take this other leg off. You really get a sense of like how to do this. Get in there. Just having done it a few times, you'll find the knife just kind of finds its own way through the chicken. So there you go. This is again, and here's like, I don't know if you guys can see, the little white part that's right about there, and you just go down through, take it into the 2 pieces. And that's a thigh and a drumstick. Now we're left with the breasts. Breasts are the easiest part. Obviously you have the breastbone right down through here. We're just gonna go like down through there, and you just follow the breastbone all the way through. Thomas Keller at this point, like, he takes the wishbone out, but that seems unnecessarily fussy to me. And again, we're just gonna take that off. So now the difference between an 8-piece cut and a 10-piece is sometimes you want to, if the breasts are really big, you can split them. I'm not going to. Underneath the breast here too, sometimes you want to take this little bit off. This is the cutlet. So let me just show you guys what that looks like. So this little leftover piece here never cooks properly if you leave it on. They make great chicken fingers, and then there's the breast. So this is normally part of the breast, but I'm taking it off because we actually make chicken fingers around here. So, and let's get this other guy off. And we're just going down through, following the breastbone all the way down. And it just, you know, just run the knife down. It just comes off, right? Now you do want to save the carcass. And I'll take the little cutlet off here too. There's your cutlet. There you go. Now that took, even on stream going slow, that took what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes to take apart the whole chicken. The last time I did this experiment is the parts packaged up. I bought the chicken for $15, and all the parts packaged up and sold at the price as if they were done at the supermarket was like over $35. So somebody out there is making $20 every 3 minutes cutting up chickens. And I kind of wish it was me, although I don't know if I want to do it all the time. Okay, I'm going to slip this into the fridge and clean up from just because it's raw chicken, and we'll keep going. I am back. And again, the other thing too is if you don't do your own chickens, you don't have all these amazing carcasses left over, right? So speaking of which, I need to get that into so you can't make stock with one carcass. I usually use about 3 at a time, so this will just go into the freezer for now until I have 3 in the bag, and then I make stock. Okay, let's get this cleaned up, get the raw chicken out of the way, and get back to our adobo. and also, guys, I know I've said this a million times before, but I don't, when I'm cooking on my own, not on stream, I don't just turn around and throw shit in the sink. I pretty much just wash it as I go the whole time, so that when I'm done, and it takes no time. It takes no time to do that, to just keep your dishes clean as you go. So, okay, let's see where we're at with the. Okay, so I'll spring this over here. And you can see now this sauce is not nearly reduced to the point where I want it. So we're gonna crank it up a bit here. So I think what I want, and I'm gonna take the chicken out actually, is I want this to reduce to a glaze, and I just think that that burner isn't powerful enough to do what we wanted to do. So what we're gonna do real quick is, oh wow, that's never happened before. Is that gonna clear? All right, switch back to me for a sec. The previously mentioned protective filter over the food can is new. It's a piece of glass. It's basically a big piece of glass, and I think I fogged it up quite a bit with the steam. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Just slightly off camera, I guess. That's odd. I mean, the whole point of the food can is to see what's going on. Let's see what happens. So I'm just going to fog up again. Yeah. Awesome. It has been a night of learning stuff. Does that actually hit the food can? Yeah, you can kind of see what's going on. I'm going to keep it in the bottom corner here. Try and let that camera clear off a bit. And as I said, normally when you're doing this dish by yourself, if you simmer it properly, it will simmer down to a glaze as you go. I'm just going to basically rush the process here. And in the meantime, I'm going to pop some plates in the oven. Good. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to do something. And I still have fog in the, yeah, oh well. I may have permanently got a, should come off. It's funny. Okay, I can turn it down just a bit. Okay, now it's cooking down to where I want it to be. I'm just going to erase this. You really should fluff it. And I was actually, Rebecca, I was literally just about to turn around and do that. It will dramatically improve your rice if you, the minute it's done. And I didn't catch it right away, but I typically go in and I'll give it a big fluff until I'm ready for it. So the short answer is yes. You should definitely always fluff your rice. It makes a big difference. I'm going to keep this cranked up. I really want to get this like simmered down. Now, if you're doing this at home, guys, you don't have to rip through your reduction here. Do it on a regular heat and you'll be fine. Also, you have to, if you're doing it this fast, because there's sugar in here. First of all, you need to be careful. It's obviously very hot, but it will go past the point of no return very, very quickly. So I'm just kind of like I'm just looking for like a caramel sticky consistency, and I'm probably going to err on the side of caution because I don't want to take it too far, and then we'll have no sauce. What do you guys think? Let's put this on there. So you can see consistency. It's not quite there. Not quite there yet. I think that, you know, when you make this dish, the 25-minute simmer time should be a pretty rapid simmer. You don't want it like at the classical French simmer is like when the bubble is just breaking the surface. You don't want that. You want a pretty vigorous simmer. Not quite a boil, but I think you could be pretty aggressive with it to get the sauce to reduce. Alright, I'm going to need some cutlery. One of my lights died. You guys can still see, okay? Yeah, it's fine. Yes, it would. Almost there. So I kind of feel like every piece of equipment I normally use without any incident has broken down tonight. I lost a light and a mic, and I fogged up the camera. It's awesome. Yeah, don't take it down this fast at home. I'm really like sprinting through this. And I kind of feel like we're almost there. Oh yeah, the rice cooker hasn't let us down. No, I love my rice cooker. I gotta tell you, it's just been fantastic. I don't know if you guys can see. Almost there. See how now we're getting a much thicker consistency? Really taking it down though. It's actually starting to behave like a caramel in the pan. Almost. Kind of feel like we're there. Yep. Maybe 2 seconds longer. Yep, that's where I want to be. Okay, great. Sorry for the delay. Let's get this served up. And, yeah, that's where I want to be. You know what? I kind of feel like it needs a little bit more. I was so close. There we go. See, just needed a little bit extra. Okay, let's plate it up and get one out to Serena, who's probably really hungry by now. Ooh, that's hot. Plate's out of the oven. And I guess just, yeah, that was dumb. So I'm going to serve these both at the same time, a little generous. One really nice thing to serve over this would have been scallions. I couldn't find any today, but definitely would have been a plus. So these will be ungarnished. But no harm, no foul, right? No pun intended. There are 2 pieces of chicken on top. Nice color on the skin still. And then let's just get some sauce over top of the whole thing. Yep, really digging the consistency of this sauce. Okay guys, give me 2 seconds and I'll be right back. Okay. So how does everybody feel right now? Let's put this under the camera. Let me put this light back on. I don't normally use this guy, but I feel like a little bit of light's good. My lights are dying. And clean this plate up just a little bit here. Presentation. Yeah. Okay, so guys, this is chicken adobo. By the way, this isn't the only protein you can use with this. You could use pork or beef as well. Chicken is the classic though. So let's get into here and see how it is. Yeah. So, yeah, the thighs are perfectly cooked. That's really good. Yeah. Scoop up some rice and sauce. And every once in a while, we get a nice pop from a peppercorn. Little heat, little spice. Really happy with this. And super simple to make. Yeah. Wow. Okay, guys, that's chicken adobo. We have the rice to soak up all the good sauce. The peppercorns have mellowed a bit because they were cooking in the sauce for so long, but they still have a nice like pop. You didn't like the pepper? Well, if you don't like the peppercorns, you could crack them, you know, in advance so they weren't quite so whatever. But I gotta tell you, after simmering in the sauce for 25 minutes or 30 minutes or however long they were in, they're not like super aggressive. Wow. Hey, Alyssa, you're on your regular account. Or sorry, the Not Justin one. Okay, I can't stop eating this. I'm going to take a break and talk to you guys in just a sec. Give me a sec. Yeah, you could strain them out, but honestly, I don't know how much flavor they would impart to the sauce. Just, well, maybe a little bit. You know what? You could also just, like, grind fresh pepper over the finished dish to taste. But that's great. Like, you know, we show you guys the technique, and you make it your own. Do whatever you want with it. Okay. Wow. Yeah. That might be the best one I've ever made. I'm really happy with that, guys. So, where are we at otherwise? How do you guys feel about everything that we've been doing tonight? I think I knocked the hammer. Are there any other questions before we kind of go dark? I think I'm going to wait till summer before I try this one again. Okay, guys. Well, if there's no more questions, that's what I have for you tonight. As always, it's been my pleasure to host you guys and show you what I'm making. We should talk. Oh, let's take 2 seconds to talk about next week. I don't have a plan for next week yet, so if you guys can think of something that you want to see made, I am open to suggestions at this point. Just throw it out there. I don't even think I have anything on the list. And I know Alyssa will pick something short because she's typing on the... okay, you want to do Indian next week? I haven't done Indian in ages. Okay. Next week is vegetarian only. Vegetarian Indian. No meat. I'm sure I can do it. Cinnamon buns. I can't bake. How am I supposed to bake? It's bad enough having this thing simmer for half an hour. I'm not gonna put cinnamon buns in the put them in the oven and come back in an hour. No, next week was it onion bhaji? Yes. And some kind of vegetable thing. Yeah, it's going to be a vegetarian, not vegan. I'm not that far yet. But next week will be definitely vegetarian at the very least. Ow. Okay, guys. I'm done. I've said everything I got to say tonight. So, eggplant burn. Okay. Well, we'll talk. We'll figure something out for next week. So, yeah, join me next week. We're going to do some kind of vegetarian Indian thing, which I'm excited about. I feel like I also want to make something really spicy next week because we're doing Indian. So, maybe I'll look at, the Goan region because I know they love cayenne pepper up there. I don't think I've ever seen a Goan recipe with less than 2 tablespoons of cayenne pepper, so it's just awesome. But I will also pick something not super spicy as well. So, everybody have an amazing night, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.